Hello, Small Cotton Creations here. I'm going to be showing you today how to crochet a little dino. So what I'm going to be using is a 3mm hook and like worsted weight yarn, but you can use whatever you desire. And I'm going to start off by chaining 20. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the first 2 chains. I'm working into the 3rd chain. I'm going to add a DC. And then I'm going to DC into the next chain. Then I'm going to add 6 stitches into the next chain. So I'm going to do 3 half treble crochets, and then 3 double crochets into that same stitch. And this is going to be the head that we're starting off with. So we're turning to go down the neck by adding all these increases. And then working into the next chain, I'm going to add a DC. And then a DC into the next chain. I'm going to have 3 DC total going down the neck. So 1 more DC. And then I'm going to make a DC 3 together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a DC and pull through 2, and then I'm going to yarn over and insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop and pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through all the loops on my hook. That's a big decrement to get to a good point to go around the back. So that's like the end of the neck. And now we're going to go over the back of the dino. We're going to do a half treble crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to put 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to add 2 treble crochets to the next stitch again. Oops, sorry. And then we're going to do a half treble crochet again. And then we're going to do another one of those DC 3 togethers. So we just start basically 3 DC without pulling through the top loop ever. And then finally pull through all the loops. Now we're going to be starting the tail. We're going to do a half double crochet. And then we're going to do a single crochet. That should be the last chain. I do have like another little chain there, but that's more of my notch chain to make sure that it doesn't come undone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a double crochet into the same stitch. And it's going to be a double crochet picot. So I chain 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of my double crochet. And then into the same stitch I worked my double crochet picot and my single crochet. I'm going to add another single crochet. That's the point of your tail. Now we'll add 2 single crochets. I'm going to loop over this end to tie it down. And add 1 more single crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So as you can see, we're working into the backs of our chains here. Just like that. And I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch after that as well. Then I'm going to chain 2. And I'm going to DC into that same stitch. We're starting the back leg. And then I'm going to DC into the next stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the same stitch that I just did the DC into. Then I'm going to add 2 single crochets for the belly. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 2, DC into the same stitch, DC into the next stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, slip stitch into the same stitch, and then I can fasten off. Of course, I didn't bring my scissors with me. But this is what she looks like. And I hope you enjoyed this little dino pattern. You can always outline around the dino with a different color to give it some extra sturdiness, some extra visibility. I always like to use a contrasting color when I outline. If you do outline, just make sure to add decreases in the valleys where it goes inwards, where you did your increases here on the other side. You'll make sure to decrease there. Going around, make sure to add some increases at the top, decreases in this area, maybe an increase or 2 up here. You can add a decrease down here or even a slip stitch to make it look like a nice point before you head up the tail. You can add another picot stitch if you want to really make that tail pointy. And then coming back around down underneath, make sure to add decreases, increases at each corner, decreases in the corners of the belly area, and decreases up at the corners of your legs. And that way your outline makes sure that your dino still looks like a dino. I hope this is helpful. Please make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and if you can, purchase any patterns. That really helps me out. These appliques would be so cute on some of my patterns, on the boob area or in the center chest. So just some ideas. Thank you for being here.